Today on Studio G, what the Nevada Beta chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon has to say about the incident in Oklahoma.
A family vacation spot in the valley could be introducing alcohol to its menu.
And your Lady Rebels gear up for the Mountain West Conference Tournament. Good afternoon and welcome to Studio G. I'm Esra Malha.
And I'm Dina Banning. We begin today with another story about Oklahoma Kappa chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon at the University of Oklahoma. The audio on the following clip is disturbing.
They'll never be interesting. They'll never be interesting. You came from a tree, but it'll never stop with me. They'll never be.
The clip shows men from the fraternity Sigma Alpha Epsilon and women from the university using a racial slur, the N-word. The video is said to have been recorded on Saturday night while the students were on their way to a date party for the fraternity's Founders Day. The video could be viewed from multiple social media sites, and when the president of the university, David Boren, came across the footage on Sunday, he had the following to say.
In my mind, you shouldn't have the privilege of calling yourself Sooners. Real Sooners are not bigots. Real Sooners are not racists. Real Sooners believe in equal opportunity. Real Sooners treat each other with respect. Real Sooners love each other and care for each other like members of a common family.
The Sigma Alpha Epsilon National Headquarters announced they will be closing the chapter at OU and suspending its members. 2 members who led the chant were expelled from the university this morning. In addition, the president of the university issued an investigation asked to all members to be out of their fraternity house by midnight as of last night and declared the house closed. Brent Martelli, president of the Nevada Beta chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon at UNLV, said, "First off, we are extremely disappointed in the action of the chapter in Oklahoma. We do not condone their actions at all and find it extremely disappointing that their actions reflect upon every other chapter in the nation. We're happy that our nationals acted swiftly in removing the chapter. In our chapter here at UNLV, our brothers are of every nationality you can think of. We pride ourselves in being diverse and allowing each individual to not be judged by their nationality." For more comments from UNLV's Sigma Alpha Epsilon, you can visit their Twitter at UNLV_SAE.
Nevada lawmakers are planning to review a bill that would allow the state transportation department to raise highway speed limits on certain roads to 85 miles per hour. The current maximum speed limit on a number of rural interstates in Nevada is 75 miles per hour. Currently, only 2 states have speed limits exceeding 75 miles per hour. They are Utah and Texas.
Wet n Wild is looking to offer something besides water to guests of the Las Vegas park. However, the request isn't sitting well with the neighbors in the area. Reporter Christy Zarpaz has more on this developing story.
Wet n Wild is looking to offer more than just a place to cool off this summer. The water park has issued a request to Clark County to grant a permit that will allow beer and wine to be served as a drink option for guests.
The facility served alcohol last summer on a temporary license, and according to Wet n Wild, it was a successful endeavor. Although a good summer, the neighbors don't seem to agree with the park and think that alcohol should not be served due to the nearby schools and potential drunk driving hazards. The park is trying to resolve the matter by only offering alcohol on non-school days, restricting consumption to a fenced-in area, and concluding service of alcohol 1 hour prior to park closure. I spoke with students around UNLV to see what they thought about the matter.
I think Wet n Wild should be able to serve alcohol because this is Las Vegas, and if you're afraid of serving alcohol at something as simple as a water park, you're probably living in the wrong state or city even. The Adventure Dome sells alcohol. Cowabunga Bay already sells alcohol, and those are both family-oriented, and many people can leave those places and drive. There's no difference. People will choose to drunk drive no matter where they are, despite the fact even if they don't allow alcohol.
I think Wet n Wild shouldn't serve alcohol because of the kids in the area. It's just like a safety thing, I guess. And I mean, we live in Las Vegas, so there's tons of places to get alcohol. And I mean, if people really wanted to, I guess they could sneak it in or whatever. But I mean, they shouldn't serve it there because it's like a family establishment.
County commissioners will have to approve the request before the park can apply for a liquor license from the county government. Commissioners are scheduled to hear the matter on March 18th. For Studio G, this is Christy Zarpis.
Thanks, Christy. County commissioners are scheduled to hear the issue on March 18th. Coming up after the break, I sit down with UNLV Assistant Director of Residential Education.
And reporter Clarissa Lovett brings you this week's edition of Family Friendly Las Vegas. Stay with us.
The name of the show is Latin Nights with Ana. The music is Latin themed, dancing music, like for a Friday night, like if you're going out. While you get ready, you dance to the music that's being played. I would like them to have fun with the music that I play, feel connected to me even though that they don't know me, but that the music that I play for them is what they like and what they want to dance to. My name is Ana, and the name of my show is Latin Nights with Ana, and you can listen to me at therebelhd2.com.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Dina Banning, and today I'm joined by UNLV's Assistant Director of Residential Education, Orlando White. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me today.
Of course. Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about UNLV being at full capacity? So this is the second year that it's been at full capacity. So what makes UNLV's housing different than any other university?
You know, I think there's a lot of different things that go into it. We only serve about 6% of the total on-campus population, so it's not very much. However, we are entering our third year being at 100% capacity this upcoming fall, as you said. So we've been full, we're bursting at the seams, and I think what makes it unique is that it's a small community. For students who live on campus, you know, they still see the same faces every day on their floor, coming in and out of the DC on their way to class. So even though you're in an environment like Las Vegas that's very vibrant and very exciting, you still have that those same familiar faces that you see on a regular basis. That makes it feel more like a home.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Speaking of home, this year we are also looking at having dogs on campus, maybe for students who have I guess service animals?
Yeah,
right?
historically, yeah, there's always been a distinction between service animals, but now we are allowing comfort animals. And that's to create a more inclusive environment for our students who may need that to feel, you know, emotionally stable throughout their time in college. And really it's there as an emotional support animal versus a traditional service animal. So we've been opening up the option, working with the Disability Resource Center to provide that accommodation for those students who need it. So it's not in essence a free-for-all, like everyone can just bring a dog or a cat or a tiger or a monkey. But if you have an emotional support need or an emotional support animal, you can make that request, and then we are able to make that accommodation just to make sure that we have an environment that's inclusive for all residents and meeting their needs. So there was a lot of back and forth on that one, but a lot of other schools are following precedent with that just to make sure that housing remains an open place for everyone to be open and successful.
So open housing, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so for the past 9 months or so, a group of our resident assistants work with our Residence Hall Association, who is essentially the governing body of UNLV's residence halls, to allow for all gender or gender neutral housing. So in the past, you know, roommates had to be of the same sex, so male, male, female to female, but open gender housing opens up the opportunity to mix it up a bit across the gender binary for a lot of different reasons. It makes us more competitive with the private housing market, being able to allow roommates to have roommates of a different gender, but also makes it more inclusive for those who might be transitioning in gender and may identify as a part of the LGBT community. So again, this is following precedent after a lot of research was done at other universities of what their universities are doing to support that community, but also making it more desirable for students to continue living on campus past their first year. So we're very excited about that for what that means for supporting the LGBT community here on our campus.
So now, how do students choose to live in open housing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's only available for students who are currently living on campus who choose to recontract. So freshmen aren't allowed. And again, there was some back and forth with that as well. The committee that brought forth the proposal for all gender housing initially wanted freshmen to have the option to live in all gender housing, but the administration talked with RHA and they discussed and they settled on that, you know, maybe freshmen didn't necessarily have the maturity to be ready for that, but if you lived on campus for a year and you're used to this community and you're used to this environment and you know that's what you want, you can opt into it as you recontract and choose to live on campus for a second year. So basically, you would have to consent with to live in a gender-neutral housing space with the other folks you're living with, and it's available, as I said, to those students who are looking to recontract and live with us for a second year. So it's through our through our priority room selection, which is currently underway. So students who are currently living on campus can sign a contract to live with us again next year. So it's just another option for students to select as they look to live with us in housing for another year.
Excellent. Okay, so there have also been rumors going around about new dormitories being built on campus. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. There is a group, a private developer who builds apartment-style living all over Southern California as well as Nevada, and they approached UNLV about entering into another private-public partnership to build new campus housing on the north end of campus. So that deal is not 100% finalized. The powers that be, so to speak, are still working out the financial aspects of solidifying that deal. How much is the university going to be responsible for? How much are they going to be responsible for? But currently on the north end of campus where the Cottage Groves apartments are, that is the land, that is the footprint, so to speak, in the university's master plan to build new residence halls. And those new residence halls will be apartment style. So they will have private kitchens and private bathrooms, unlike what we currently have existing. So that is a big step for UNLV. And if all goes as planned, there's still a few more Board of Regents meetings to finalize those last steps, but if all goes as planned, they hope to open the doors in fall of 2016, which is pretty ambitious, but we are looking to expand campus housing in the very near future. So it's a very exciting time at UNLV.
That is exciting.
Yep, to be living on campus or to choose to live on campus and be able to expand our housing options to meet the needs of more students.
Okay, now really quick before we leave, can you tell us when priority room selection is?
Yes, priority room selection is next Monday. If you currently live on campus, it is next Monday from 5 to 8 p.m. in the Student Union Ballroom, March 16th. So look out for that if you live on campus.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
again.
You,
we look forward to the growth of UNLV's housing and residential life. Back to you, Ezra.
This week on Family Friendly Las Vegas, reporter Clarissa Lovett takes us to a place on the Strip for a look behind the scenes of a celebrity hangout. Take a look.
Madame Tussauds has over 19 locations worldwide, one of which is smack dab in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip.
We are more popular than ever. We are growing and growing every year.
The museum was originally started by Madame Tussauds herself in 1835 on Baker Street in England. Currently home to over 100 figures, Madame Tussauds has started to change up the scenery a bit. They are now home to a new exhibit that lets you get up close and personal with a few members of the Hangover.
We have the brand new Hangover experience with Zach Galifianakis and Bradley Cooper. That Zach Galifianakis figure is just amazing, and people really love to take a great picture with him in front of the wedding chapel, so it's a lot of fun.
All of the figures residing in the museum take weeks to create, and it is no easy task.
The process to make a wax figure is around 3 to 6 months, depending on how complex the figure is. We start with over 300 measurements to make the wax figures, for example, from the nose to the chin, how big the eyes are, things like that. After that, we take those measurements and create a clay head and create the body in clay as well. Once the clay is complete, we put a plaster cast around the clay mold, take the cast off and pour hot wax into that cast to make the wax head. Then the process goes into molding and finishing, where we paint all of the details onto the face and insert the hairs individually. That process alone of inserting the hair is up to 6 weeks, and it's over 10,000 individual hairs inserted into each wax head by hand.
So you think that just because your favorite celebrity is no longer with us, and Madame Tussauds does not have a figure of them currently, that you will not be able to see them? Well, no fear. Madame Tussauds has ways to make figures of people who have passed on.
So if we have a figure of the person that we made of them when they were alive, we'll take those measurements and try to translate them into what we thought that person was at the end of their life. Otherwise, we will take research from thousands of photographs to estimate measurements to be able to create that wax figure.
All that hard work put into making the figures ends up paying off for the museum, and the customers love it.
It seems so real.
Madame Tussauds is a place where you can get up close and personal with all of your favorite celebrities. And women, who wouldn't want a picture with Channing Tatum? For Studio G, I'm Clarissa Levitt.
Yesterday, Madame Tussauds unveiled the new figure of Miley Cyrus on that silver bar we know from her music video. You can see her and all of the other figures at Madame Tussauds on the strip next to the Venetian.
Oh my goodness, have you ever been?
No, I haven't. I would like to go. Did you see Channing Tatum? I would love to get a picture with him.
Oh, but that's so depressing. I want a picture of him in real life, not at the Wax Museum.
Coming up after the break, how the UNLV Honors College is prepping for more than just midterms.
Downtown Las Vegas gets their own taste of winter weather.
And the new sport that will knock you off your feet. Stay tuned.
The name of my show is Spinning Indie. We play a lot of alternative music, we play post-punk, a lot of stuff coming out from unsigned or newly signed bands. I like to play an hour of music, and then after the first hour we talk a ton about latest music news in the second hour. A lot of rock and roll going on the show. I'm Kylie O'Rourke, and you can listen to Spinning Indie on rebelht2.com.
Welcome back. It's tournament season in the world of basketball, and UNLV Lady Rebels are busy prepping for the Mountain West Conference playoffs this week. The team took a break from practice and filled reporter Mandy Massa in on what to expect.
The Lady Rebels' regular season has ended, but the team is still going full force. With a 10-8 conference record, UNLV earned a first-round bye into a whole new ballgame.
Mountain West Conference tournament, super fun atmosphere. It's lively. Everyone's fighting for their next life, so to speak, and I don't think this team wants the season to be over.
Spirits and hopes are high, and you can be certain the intensity on the court will be even higher, as every conference playoff game is winner take all.
You win these games, all these games, you can go to the NCAA tournament for sure. You know, you could have an incredible season, but that doesn't automatically get you a bid to the tournament.
I feel as if we have a great chance of beating any team in this conference. I feel like we've only lost to one team, which is the top seed, Colorado State. We beat every other team.
And it's not only the players who are poised for a win. Head coach Kathy Olivier feels confident about her team's chances as well.
I feel really good about this team. I just think they have a good work ethic. They don't want it to be over. I think that's probably 90% of it. You don't want it to be over. You're going to continue to work hard, and we're going to do whatever we can to get the W.
After losing the final 3 games of the regular season, Coach Olivier believes the Lady Rebels are ready to rebound with the conference win.
We finished the season with a couple losses, but we feel like those have been wake-up calls, and we feel like we've learned from them, and we're ready to start the Mountain West Conference tournament.
There's one more potential advantage. All conference playoff games are played at Thomas and Mack Center, and the Lady Rebels just happen to be 9-5 at home.
I think that we all really believe that we could make a run in this tournament.
I'm going for the championship ring, going for some banners. I'm ready to cut down some banners.
You're going to see Lady Rebels working their tails off, and we're going to do everything we can to move on and go to the big dance, because that's our goal.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Mandy Massa.
The Lady Rebels take on Boise State today at 2:30 in the Thomas and Mack Center. If they win, the team will likely face #1 seed Colorado State tomorrow. Your Rebels are also starting their conference playoffs this week. The men's basketball team will take on the University of Nevada Wolfpack tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. in the Thomas and Mack Center. For all sessions that UNLV is in, CSUN will have around 150 tickets. Their first come first serve and tickets for tomorrow's game will be given out at 11:30 a.m. in the CSUN marketing table at the student entrance to the Thomas and Mack.
And if making good grades isn't enough of an obstacle, students from the Honors College are training for a 12-mile race later this year, while still earning school credit. Reporter Monica Madrano fills us in.
Last week, I showed you a boot camp class right here on campus, but down the road, the Honors College is preparing for more than just midterms.
The honors class, they brought a whole new level of motivation. They have a goal too, though. Like, they're not just here for because it's a fun class. They have a goal. They're striving to get there, and they're preparing themselves mentally and physically for that challenge. The SoCal Tough Mudder.
Well, we have an ex-military man and then like a Spartan race champion, so we definitely have like legends teaching this class. So it's challenging.
We stick together. You know, we cheer each other on. In spite of differences in abilities and personalities, no matter who's up there trying to get over a 12-foot wall, whatever obstacle it may be, we really do come together.
Stay up, no
The way that it is organized is that no matter what you're capable of doing, it's going to be hard for you. If you can do more, they're going to make you do more. Like today, there were 3 of us who took off in the sprint and were the leaders, and when we won, he made us do extra.
I'm slower than most of the people here, and so it's like, come on, Jerry, come on, you can do it, you can do it, and then they come back and run with me.
Yes, it's obstacles, but you have a wall, an 8-foot wall, but it's more than an 8-foot wall. You have monkey bars, but it's more than monkey bars. That these obstacles mean something more than just the physical challenge of them. You've got amazing camaraderie that builds. I mean, helping somebody up and over a wall does something to bond you. And going through, especially if you're running the Tough Mud or going through miles of mud and obstacles, does something. You create history with one another.
There's something so different about putting your energy towards physical activity, just to help yourself out physically and mentally. If you want to study, work out. That will help you study.
Yeah. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Monica Madrano.
To learn more about the Tough Mudder and similar races around the region, please visit toughmudder.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
My show is called Window on the Middle East, and it deals with all the issues that deal with the Middle East. Middle East is a very important part of the world. I grew up in America, and yet I'm from the Middle East. It's a commoner's viewpoint based on experience as well as scholarship. My name is Shervin Mushuri. I'm the host of the talk show Window on the Middle East at the rebelhd2.com.
Snow in Vegas when it's 70 degrees outside? That's right. Downtown Las Vegas held an event where snowboarders had the opportunity to showcase their skills. Reporter Chelsea Bangle has more.
you don't see snow in Vegas, so we thought, you know what, we got to come out and see this.
Las Vegas was able to put on Park Jam, a snowboarding competition that featured a number of professional snowboarders.
I've had the opportunity to work at Zappos for the last 8 years in the action sports industry, and now trying to bring some back and get everybody amped up about it here in Vegas.
You know what, anybody that wants to strap a board on their feet and jump on a rail and slide down on ice, it's pretty interesting to watch, and it's very admirable. And the skill set and the athletic ability is pretty impressive.
Vegas isn't known as a snowboarding community, and there is a community that is into it, and we want to promote that a little bit and get the word out.
I grew up in Salt Lake, so I've come down to Vegas often and always have a good time.
I think it's important to bring the community together. As downtown Las Vegas grows and expands, it's important to do these out-of-the-box events to not only bring locals down, but as well as tourists and everything like that.
Zappos was one of the partners in making this happen to help their overall focus to reinvigorate downtown Las Vegas.
We have a couple core values, and community is one of them. So absolutely, we're trying to do good by the community, bring the families out to support and enjoy what we have to offer.
Downtown area has completely changed since I was a child. Now it's definitely more attractive to bring down for tourists, and it's another thing, you see a lot of locals down here. And it's definitely increased the awareness, and the whole culture down here has been definitely a positive boost.
The Las Vegas Valley hardly receives the white powder from the skies, so having snow in the center of Las Vegas drew people in even more.
On this day where it's, 75 degrees outside and they're seeing snow, especially on Fremont Street, it's really just kind of a shock, but also I think that draws the appeal as well.
I was born and raised here in Vegas, so anytime I could see snow here in the town, it's been on very rare occasions, so the fact they brought it here was kind of cool. Park Jam was a phenomenal event. Everybody was really mellow, and everybody's having a good time, so it's all around a win for everybody.
For Studio G, I'm Chelsea Bangle.
This was the first Park Jam event held, but it will definitely not be the last.
The weather in downtown may have cooled down for the weekend, but the weather is warming up in the valley. Reporter Alyssa Stein shows us a sport that kicks up the fun.
What do you get when you take the contact of football, the game of soccer, and add bubble wrap? Knocker ball.
Knocker ball is your untraditional game of soccer, along with other games. So basically, sport of soccer, but you put yourself inside a giant inflatable ball that almost encompasses your whole body. It allows you to roll, it allows you to make impact with other people, basically to defy gravity and defy pain.
For those who have tried this contact sport, they say it's addicting, and for $10, it's the best way to let loose and have fun with friends.
It's like a rush, especially when you know you're going to hit somebody and you know you're going to get hit.
This high-energy sport allows you to knock, flip, and roll your friends without getting injured.
You roll around a bit, a lot of adrenaline going through it, a lot of fun going through it. It's a lot of fun. If anybody gets a chance to try it, you definitely got to try it. Bring your friends. You'll have a lot of fun with them. Get on opposite teams. So if you got some again, we could knock them out a little bit and they'll hit you as well.
If you're interested in this knock'em soccer sport, visit their website for upcoming events. For Studio G, I'm Alyssa Stein.
Another way to stay updated on upcoming games and events is through their Facebook page. Facebook.com/knockerballvegas.
That looks like so much fun. I would just forget the soccer ball and keep pushing people.
I feel like I would get so frustrated the fact that my short little legs wouldn't be able to reach the ball.
So much fun.
With the huge thing around us.
Anyways, that's all we have for you today. I'm Esther Malhan.
And I'm Dina Banning. Join us tomorrow for another edition of Studio G. Have a great day, Las Vegas.